It is possible the motivation is a recall attempt where the state GOP is targeting all 66 current House Democrats for not showing up for work at the Capitol.
Now, Minnesota legislator has never been successfully recalled in the state's history. Fox 9's Soyoung Kim joins us live from the state capitol. So Young, it's a long process, but Minnesota Republicans look like they're taking the first step here.
That's right. State Republicans tell me they're serious about moving forward with this recall attempt. They've officially started collecting the 25 signatures needed to send a petition to the Secretary of State. The Minnesota House remains at a standstill. State Republicans announced Tuesday, after going into the fourth week of House DFLers boycotting the session at the Capitol, they have officially kicked off the recall process and say they believe they have grounds to do so.
There are 66 districts across our state that have no representation at the Capitol. There are hearings that are not happening. There are debates that are not occurring.
State law does provide guidance for the recall of elected state officials. It's a long process that involves many layers. Republicans estimate it could take around 10 months to complete if successful at every step of the way. So how does the process work? Minnesota Republicans are working on the very first step to submit a proposed recall petition. They need to collect 25 signatures from eligible voters in each district and submit grounds or reasons for recall. Once submitted, the Secretary of State reviews the proposal and, if valid, sends it to the state's highest court. Then the Chief Justice appoints a special master to review, and there would be a public hearing. If it passes that step, it trickles back to the Supreme Court, then back to the Secretary of State's office to issue a new petition with a much higher threshold. This time it requires signatures from 25% of voters who voted in the last election in each district. If all those requirements are met, then a recall election will be planned and held. Democratic Governor Tim Walz responded to this attempt to recall House DFLers.
We're not going to allow you to do what we're seeing at the federal level. You're not going to go in and fire state employees. You're not going to take power in a short-term window of gap that's not what the voters voted for.
Republicans say they plan to submit the first batch of proposed recall petitions to the Secretary of State next week. Live at the Capitol, Soyoung Kim, Fox 9.